Hello, how are you? This is the screen capture broadcast of project number 4 for CPSC 5130. It involves the retrieval of the Oracle JDK 7U21, the installation of that uh, Java virtual machine, and the retrieval and configuration and installation of Hadoop, and then the testing of Hadoop with mapreduce. Okay. The initial guidelines for the project assumed that the user of the administrator who is going to perform the project would be doing so on a Windows 64-bit system using VM Player and then installing a Linux instance. Well, I don't own a Windows operating system, so therefore I will be, as you can tell, obviously, oops, my bad, forgive me. This is a Ubuntu system that I am using, and this is the Unity desktop environment on Ubuntu 14.04. So I don't have Windows, I'm using Ubuntu. Okay, now with that said, I have decided to run this project through Google Cloud Engine with one of their virtual machine instances on a Ubuntu 14.04 trusty tar image in the cloud. Okay, and I wrote a pretty lengthy Python program. Actually, I wrote two programs. One's a C++ program and one's a Python program. I was testing uh, for a good 24 hours or so. I tested man hours. I tested efficiency in the cloud with the two languages as far as programming as a developer. So, um, some ideas that I was having. Anyways, long story short, I'm already logged in to the Google Cloud Platform. Okay, this is a brand new account. I have created a second account. All right. Um, Now, when you first log in to Google Cloud Platform, this is what you're presented. All right, this is the startup page, or like the index page, if you will, of cloud.google.com. All right, so first thing you want to do, you obviously can tell, Google Cloud Platform is pretty nice. Of course, Google, everything Google does it usually looks really good. Um, they got some advertisements, they got some solutions, documentation, support partners, that sort of thing. So we're going to go to My Console right off the bat. All right. And you may have seen previous videos to whoever's viewing this. I know at least one or two people have. Um, uh, I have done previous cloud. Um, I have done previous videos about cloud administration using Amazon Oz, and Google Platform is much different than Amazon Oz. It's got a different feel. It's very pleasant, but the layout's much different. Okay. For instance, when you first go to your dashboard, this is what you're presented with. It just tells you what your projects are, what you can possibly do, what your billing is for this month, what your APIs are. It gives you some statistical feedback. It gives you some options to explore other devices and APIs. So this would be this when you click on home, it takes you right to here. Okay. Now they call this my first project. As soon as every count is initialized, every user gets a my first project as their first project. Okay, we're going to delete this. Manage all projects. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this. Create our own first project name. Shut that down. And you got to copy. We got to say Ace Computer 1261112, which I think that's what they start Google interns out at, or first year software engineers. All right, about 126,000. Now, with a 6 figure sign-on bonus. Okay, all right, Google. Let's see what we're doing here. We're going to do something different. Project is pending deletion. Okay, that's fine. Now, when you don't have any projects, as soon as you log out or log into the to the console on Google on cloud.google.com and you don't have any projects, it'll just take you straight to this page. Okay, it just says that you have to create a project. All right, so we're going to create a project. We're going to call this project uh, alphabet to Hadoop. Okay, alphabet to Hadoop. That's alphabet as in Alphabet Incorporated. The new corporate structure of who owns Google Incorporated. It's like their spin-off parent company now. And of course, we're doing it from Google Cloud, so we're going to Hadoop. That's how we're going to tunnel. All right. So let's create the project. The project's creating. Now, by default, Google Cloud Compute's got some pretty interesting stuff going on. Okay. By default, they have got a Debian image that you can use and via a console, which I'll show you at the end of the video. And they have another Cloud Developers console that feels like a terminal bash. It is gorgeous. It's got a great feel to it, which that's what we're going to be using. I'm actually not in this particular video, even though I have previously connected via SSH, generating my own key. That is not what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so now we want to go, when you want to choose an image, this is much different like had previously mentioned in Amazon Oz. You want to click up here where it says products and services, where my cursor is, okay? When you click up there, guys, here's your options. You got Google Cloud Platform, Home, API Manager, Billing, Cloud Launcher, Permissions, App Engine, Compute Engine. We're going to choose Compute Engine. Now, when we come to the Compute Engine homepage, we're giving a bunch of options here. Instance groups, instance templates, images. You can take a snapshot of your system, that sort of thing. So my wheel is spinning here. While my wheel is spinning, see this wheel? It says 1 notifications. While my notifications wheel is spinning, I'm going to present the script that I have written to assimilate the automation of the installation the retrieval configuration installation of the JDK and Hadoop. All right, this is a very long script. It's about 13 functions long with a driver. It's a program really, but this Hadoop homework 4.py Python program is designed and created to perform the automation of the installation and execution of Hadoop instance on Ubuntu 14.04. Trusty tar, make a correction there. All right. And Trusty Tar Cloud operating system. Now that operating system is offered and initialized through Google Cloud Compute Services. Google Cloud Compute Engine. These might be those guys from Amazon who've been messing with me. Okay, so continuing. The first function is going to write a script that fetches 4 things. It's going to fetch the JDK. It's going to fetch after the Oracle JDK 70U21 Linux x64.tar gunzip archive has been downloaded, it's then going to fetch the Hadoop 1.1.2 tar gunzip archive. Okay, then it's going to fetch William Chu's word count, the second edition of that jar file, in order to test our Hadoop and mapreduce, in order to test our Hadoop instance with mapreduce. All right, so that script's going to be changed into an executable permission format, or the mode of access is going to be changed on it to executable, and that script's going to be immediately executed. All right, and then I'm going to pass every string in this list right here as an argument to the call function, and have these strings right here run as commands along a command line interface. Okay. Next up, in our second function, install JDK, this function is going to make a directory for the JDK, and then update our local alternatives. That way the system knows that it's there. And then it's going to do some initialization of those. It's going to run on, I got another, what this list is right here. It's going to then test the Java, the Java-C, the jar binary, and then show the Java version. Okay. The third function is going to alter our etc syscontrol.config file, and it's going to add these 4 lines right here to the bottom of the file. It's going to append them, and those are going to disable IPv6 communication. Okay. Now, once that has been completed, this little string right here, sudo syscontrol system, will be executed in order to load the new parameters for our kernel to understand that we're disabling IPv6. All right. Now, when that has completed, Hadoop will be moved to, or excuse me, the Hadoop tar gunzip archive will be extracted, and then it will be moved and renamed. The directory that is extracted, it will be moved to user local and then renamed Hadoop by just by itself. All right. The next function is going to list all the environment variables needed. I'm going to put this. I'm going to print this huge list right here. This huge list right here. All right. That's going to be printed into a file called .bash admin in the home directory. And that file .bash admin, .bash underscore admin, will be sourced by the .bash rc file. All right. All right. There's the .bash rc file right here. That's going to. I got to append. We are going to append a small conditional statement saying that if bash aliases. Oh, don't do that, man. We want bash admin, admin, and admin. Let me make one correction right there. That needs to be done. Admin. All right, file save as. I don't want to use bash aliases because I use that for something completely different. Generally speaking, it's a good habit. Okay, so once the .bash rc file has been altered and configured to source the .bash underscore admin file, the next function is going to alter the Hadoop -env, so the Hadoop environment.sh8 script. All right, it's going to add the Java home environment variable and get the location of our freshly installed JDK 1.7.0. All right, let's get back to work here. We're going to create an instance of a virtual machine. And while that thing is kicking off, here we go. It's ready for us. I'm going to name this instance Google Cloud Hadoop. All right. We're going to do the US East 1B is what we're going to do. And we're going to customize this and make this 2 CPUs. All right. When we do that, that's going to give us 2 virtual cores, and it's also going to give us 7 it's the defaults to 7.5 gigabytes of memory, a short memory, okay, RAM or any other kind of memory that they're using. All right, now we are not going to choose Debian GNU Linux 8.3 Jessie, even though it is a fantastic operating system. I currently have it installed on a Dell Inspiron, and I've been using it, and I love it. I've used it for quite a while. I've used Debian for years, and Debian makes a great system. On and off I have, and I really like this image. I really like this Debian Jessie operating system, but it comes installed with the OpenJDK 1.7. Okay, out of the box. And so they already have a JDK installed on it. And that does not meet the guidelines of this project, number one. And number two, I don't want to waste any time trying to remove everything, because it can be kind of messy to remove it. You got to remove the symbolic links. There's a lot of .list files around. You have to rely on apt to purge and remove all the packages for that. When you remove the JRE and the JRE headless binaries. Okay, so here's what we're going to choose. Enough talking about Debian. Here's what we're going to choose. We're going to choose Ubuntu 14.04, long-term supported image, okay, the trusty tar image, and this is the one that is going to, this is the image that's going to be in our It's gonna work as our Linux instance within our virtual machine within Google Cloud Compute Engine. All right. So that's what we're going to choose. I'm selecting that. Now we are going to allow default access. Our access scopes are default for this particular instance. We're going to allow. We have to allow HTTP as traffic because we use the wget command. Or do we? Actually, I'm going to test that. Can we wget without allowing HTTPS traffic? Let's find out. All right, so we're gonna leave this off. Now, instead of adding doing something like this right here, and running a command like this chmod plus x gen key, instead of creating our own RSA public key and private key for this particular instance, as I've shown you here, instead of doing this and then copying and pasting our public .pm or .pm.pub to the SSH keys option right here, we are going to use a very, very neat invention that Google has come up with. Okay, it's got a great user interface. Here I'm actually going to remove .ssh because I don't have any keys that I don't already have copies of in there. What the frick? Oops. Excuse me. Forgive me. Okay, get rid of that. All right. So, instead of doing that, what I just showed you, we are going to use the cloud Google Developers console shell, and it allows us. It's a very Nix based looking terminal shell that flips up out of the browser. Okay, there's two options you can do. You can connect to your local Debian image within the cloud in a browser, which I'll show you at the end, or you can choose this other option that I'm about to show you. All right, or you can download and install the G Cloud Tools SDK, which allows you to interact with your instance via command line on your local system with using the G Cloud command. Okay, I have tried that as well. On my other account. So with all that said, let's create our image. All right, this will take a second. While that is creating, I'll continue to expound upon this script. Okay. Now, I've explained to you about this function right here, the Hadoop env.sh function. What that does, that just adds that appends an environment variable, the Java home environment variable, to the Hadoop env.sh script. Okay. Now we are going to, after that, following that, the next function, core site, def core site, is going to overwrite the core hyphen site.xml file with the strings that are arguments that are in this list. All right, so we're going to write that file. The map_red function is going to do the same for the map_red hyphen site.xml file, and then the hdfs site function is going to do the same with the strings that are in the hdfs list. It's going to overwrite the hdfs hyphen site.xml file that will be located in user local Hadoop conf directory after we extract and perform everything we want to do. All right. Now, the next function, our 10th function, as we can tell right here, part 10, is going to create a temp directory for the Hadoop user. It's going to add the Hadoop group, and it is going to move Mr. William Chu's word count to jar into user local Hadoop bin. All right, as a preliminary for us to to get ready, and that'll get us ready to do something that we want to do, which is test the. Oh, I think our image just popped up. We are ready to roll. It's done. It's done initializing. Okay. Once that is done, we are going to format the Hadoop file system, start the file system up, um, run a quick put of the Gettysburg text that we are also going to download in our initial first functions we get script. And then we are going to remove it immediately. Okay, that's going to prime that file location. Following that, we are going to print a .sh script called runberg.sh, change its mode of access to executable, and then after this program is done running, we will have that script, and we will run that script, which will test our Hadoop instance. All right. So in the def main, which is the driver, we're gonna test. We're gonna abstract the 12 or 13 functions that we have created in order to in order to execute everything that was in those functions. I better add that real quick because that might be important. All right, file, save as. Let's do it. Hopefully this will work out well. Everything will be copacetic. All right. Now, okay, here we go, guys. Now I've given you the options. I told you there's 4 ways you can connect to your shell. Okay, you can connect using the console right here. Activate the Google Cloud Shell, which will open you up and take you to a Debian image for your project name. It'll be a Debian Jessie 8 image, and you can just connect to that Debian Jessie through Debian Jessie 8 to your image once you have the public key for your user on that operating system. All right, but before then, you have to get that key. All right. So with that said, what we are going to do is we're going to connect straight to our Ubuntu image, okay, without starting a Debian image for the project. All right, we only got one. We only got one Linux instance running in this project currently, and that is a Ubuntu instance. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this button down here in the right-hand corner where my little finger is. If you can see my cursor down here moving, so this says SSH connect. That is what I'm about to do, and we have liftoff. Our developer shell is initializing. All right, while that is happening, I'm going to bring this down. And so this is the Google Cloud. This is the cloud ssh.developersgoogle.com terminal shell. All right, and we are connecting to our instance. I'm in East Asia. What? I'm gonna have to start this project over. Oh my goodness. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna wing it. I'm gonna wing it. All right, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wing it. So yeah, we're gonna wing it. First up, we're gonna change our Linux username. We're gonna call it HD user. So this is when you do that. I went to the tool button here, and when you do that, and you create another Linux username, it automatically creates a whole other account. All right, and then brings you into the account and brings your SSH tunnels you into that user account that you just made. Okay, so I'm now going to have a user named HD user, which is what I want. All right, as you can tell right here, HD user at Google Cloud Hadoop. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to clear this out. Bring us back up to the top of the screen. nl-rc. I'm going to change up my PS1 prompt real quick. So this is long right here. I'm going across the world to perform this administration and installation. I thought I chose the US. I promise you, I thought I chose the US, but I didn't. It says I didn't. So give me this right here, and I'm feeling the lag. I'm seriously feeling the lag up here in East Asia. East Asian. What are we doing here? What are you doing? Go to force color. Where are you at, force color? Okay, it's not here now. Alright, Alright. Now that that's done, yes, clear. Source.bashrc. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this, guys. I think that's too much lag. See, I gotta travel too. There's too many pipes, and there's too far of a distance for the content and for my actions to travel. But this is a cute little Google thing up here, isn't it? I love Google. Oh, Google's so great. Okay. Oh, that was good, Jeff. Do that some more. Okay, we're gonna generate a private RSA key. Control Shift C, Control V in the cloud terminal. And yes, I'm just going to enter the default. And okay, we've created an RSA key. So we are doing that. And I'm going to Control Shift C and then copy that into my .ssh authorized key file with a Control V, just like this right here. And that has been completed. Now I'm going to connect SSH localhost to verify that we do have permission and that it is activated. And yes, I want to connect. I have a fingerprint permanently added localhost. We have SSH localhost connection at 127.0.0.1. I'm going to clear this out. Alright, I'm going to exit this right here. And I'm going to reopen our get it. Can we get it? Reopen this real quick. And reopen our Python program that I wrote here. I was a busy camper. That's actually the C++ program, of course, because everyone who's programmed in both the languages knows it takes a lot more code in C++, generally speaking, to do the same amount of work when you do programming in a procedural and structural paradigm. Usually, this program that I'm about to copy in here, it covers just about, if there's a paradigm that Python shows attributes towards, I guarantee you I put it in this program. Imperative, object-oriented, functional. It's going to take a long time for this thing to print, but it's paid. There we go. Imperative, object-oriented, structural, structured block structured, however you want to say it. The order of execution is imperative, and I'm not talking about the paradigm when I say imperative. It is pivotal. Would be a better way to put that. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to exit temporarily. I'm going to exit the localhost because our Hadoop instance has got to use the localhost SSH as well. Okay. So it's like firing a boomerang. But what the Hadoop does is it's going to like fire a boomerang of tunneling out and back into us at another port. All right. So exits. Connection is lost. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to update the local database real quick, and then run our script. Run the script that we've created. Hopefully this will be money. Hadoop homework. Let's keep our fingers crossed, guys. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Ready, go. We have download. We have Houston. We have liftoff. It's running. We've already received the. Okay. All right. This is fast. This is really fast for. In fact, we're doing this from. Well, our connection doesn't show. We can lag inputting data into. Wow, this thing's running fast. Oh my goodness. You have no idea how many steps this is. Keep going, baby. Yes. It's go. We just formatted our hard drive. We're about to format our Hadoop file system, and Hadoop has there we go. All right. It has deleted the user get script here, All right, and it says, as it says here, to test Hadoop and mapreduce, please run the runberg.sh script. So let's do that. I've been having trouble testing this. I actually was running the runberg.sh script uh, in the program at the very end, and I was having like virtual rollbacks and stuff for some reason, having to edit small changes. So I just said the heck with that instance, and okay, here we go. Uh, this didn't work. All right, so that's not working. So what we're gonna have to do here, we're gonna do this manually. We're gonna Hadoop. Excuse me. Um, user, HD user, Gettysburg .txt file. We're gonna ls that. And then Hadoop file system ls. Oops. ls this. User, it's user. Yeah. I was thinking. Oh, the text. Oh, it didn't put. Well, you gotta put it back there, dummy. Whoa. What does this Renberg do? It should have done that, huh? It didn't do that. Alright. Control C, Control V. Hadoop home is deprecated. Okay, we're gonna go about this a whole different way. User, local, Hadoop. Our environment variable is not showing up, even though I just after the program exited, I sourced .bashrc. User local Hadoop binary. Switching here, and then we're gonna run this one more time from this directory. It already exists. Really? Well, if it already exists, tell me what it looks like. Tell me, let's see how many bits it has. Supposedly, it already exists, but it doesn't exist. That's interesting. Alright, I'm going to exit this instance real quick. We're going to restart the instance. We're going to go back to SSH. It's too spooky here, too spooky. The file existed, but you know it didn't exist. I don't know what's going on with that, but whatever. We have Hadoop. Hadoop is up and running. We know that. We're about to initialize it. And the main thing is once you get it installed, I know the thing's installed because we formatted the system. Okay? Clear. You update the local database. And cd user local Hadoop binary. Alright, we're in there. Okay, Hadoop. Hadoop. There you go. It's lagging. I'm sorry about this. I'm actually lagging because of the distance that I chose the wrong physical location of our where on what server. I chose the wrong physical location of the server to run our virtual machine and our Linux image instance. I chose one that's in somewhere in East Asia. User. User HD user. Gettysburg .txt file. And it does exist. And notice this, we have 1486 bits right here. Okay, I just highlighted that in blue, sort of, a little cursor. that means that we're not just running a file that has been touched. It's not just like an empty file holding the address name of in logical memory of Gettysburg.txt file. We actually have data stored in this or that file representation says that there is data mapped there. Okay, so let us run the William Chu Renberg .sh. Let us run this right here very fast. Control Shift C. Oops, I don't have to do that. Control C. All right, and since we are already in our root directory, the root binary directory of the Hadoop binary, this should come out perfect. Home is deprecated. Look, map 0%, reduce 0%. It's running. Maps 100%. Reduce 0%. Come on. 33%, 100%. Houston, we have liftoff. Okay. So the next thing to do would be to. I'm actually going to run this in cat. We're gonna use the Hadoop file systems built-in binary to concatenate the output that was stored in virtual memory. Control C, Control V, oops, no, Control D. I don't want to do that. I'll do that to an end of file. But we are going to actually pipe the output of that file systems cat, and we are going to pipe that into a parenthesized command line argument of cat, opening up another instance of concatenate, which is going to redirect. So I'm redirecting the output here of the Hadoop's file systems output of what the word count 2.jar file outputted. Instead of outputting it into terminal, I'm going to redirect it into cat, which is going to redirect it into the input of this file right here. And that is going to be, what are we going to name this? We're going to name this, let me try to extend this. This is actually really tricky to do on this terminal. There we go. 126 by 36. Cat, word count. Word count dot text file. And go. Alright, now let's cat word count dot text file. And find out. No, we had a backup copy of that, so I can push this to Git. I can do whatever I want. I can turn it into. I can put it in a tar archive and push all this to Git, or I can pipe this using SFTP if I want to connect via a generated key option on my local machine. I can connect to the machine via my local machine and use SFTP or SCP protocols to receive that as a module. And we have ran it. So that was in the Gettysburg Address 13 times. Abraham Lincoln said it 13 times. The was spoken 11 times. Looks like we're pretty good to go. Alright, so the file that I just created via the output of that command, word count .text file, I'm going to move this home. Alright. I'm going back home, and no, I don't need that for that. So I'm going to stop the instance that is in Asia East 1, as we can tell right here. Asia East 1B, wherever Asia East 1B is. I thought that I saw East 1B. I thought that was the United States. For some reason, it defaults I've noticed too when you create images and you're getting ready to create an image, the instance will default to different locales, which is strange. I don't know if that's just they do that by periodically by time. They route different servers or they're preferring source servers maintenance. So like every few hours, that's what happens. I do not know if it's probably something automated, but user local. I have noticed that though in my fooling around with this binary stop all. And this will end our Hadoop instance. Excuse me, this will shut down our Hadoop instance. And while that is happening, I'm gonna show you this I don't know, should we run this? Just we got a lot of time, don't we? Let me check the time here. I might end up running this one as well just to show you how it works. This is a very lengthy C++ program. It's got struct, it's got um it's got struct variables flying around, creating files, creating backup files. It's creating scripts, it's executing scripts. It's taking advantage of sub-level depth. It's got lists. It's got everything you could possibly dream of. This is a long program I've created this week. Okay, this is huge, huge. Void function, void function, void function. Functional decomposition. This is procedural programming right here. Uh, 479 lines of comments, code, and C++. All right, so our secondary instance is over. It is done. It is completed. What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? I'll tell you what. I'm just gonna call it a night. We're connected. I don't want to stay connected to this guy over here in China. Okay. So I'm going to get off of the East Asian server. The Alphabet 2 Hadoop project is about to be either over. Or I'm going to add another image to it, one or the other. So I'm going to echo. What's my shell over right now? Actually, is it one? I'm in one. Okay, so I'm going to exit the Cloud SSH developers console. Um, available. This is not built into the browser. This is a completely different application that appears as a module, I guess this is a virtual modal of some sort, okay, or virtual frame, virtual main window. So I'm going to exit this instance. I'm going to go back to our Google Compute here. Now, remember I told you at the end of this I was going to show you the difference between the Google or the Cloud SSH Developers Console, which I just showed you, and the Google Cloud Shell. Here's the Google Cloud Shell. Boom. Welcome to Google Cloud Shell. All right. I'm going to start a Google Cloud Shell. Linux Debian based OS real Linux environment. Alright, it's starting, it's compiling, and then I'm going to say start. I'm going to click on this, start Google Cloud Shell. Here we go. So I'm about to start a Cloud Shell. So once I have gotten my RSA key, okay, and created my HG user, there is nothing wrong with connecting, which I didn't actually make a copy of it, which was foolish, but I could easily just copy that key right here into make directory .print .m055 no, let's actually make that 0700 .sh. So I can just copy the key, go in there, .sh, say cat authorized keys, and added the key, or even created the control D, or even created the a PM to do so. Okay, that matched a matching pair. So, all right, I figured I'd show you that. That's the difference. Those are two different things right there. The Google Cloud Shell is different than the SSH, the Cloud SSH .cloud developer shell. One is built into the browser itself. The other, I think the other is actually CD opt Google Chrome. I think the other one, the one that I just performed 99% of this tutorial and screen capture with is the NAC helper, okay, or NAC helper bootstrap. I'm thinking that is what these two binary executables, I think that's what those are related to. I'm not for sure about that, but that's what I'm thinking. Okay. All right. So with that said, um, you name. I hope y'all have had a very good time uh, watching this. I hope it was informative. I'm very tired. I've had a really long week, and I would feel really bad if this was poor communication during this video. If there is, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Okay. So with that said, I am going to take a look at this OBS, and this thing has been running 45 minutes. Stop recording. Guys, I will see y'all later, and I hope y'all have a great rest of the evening, afternoon, morning, daytime, middle of the night, spa session, whatever you're doing. I hope you have a great time doing it. Talk to you later. Bye.